that the police couldn't catch, so they bought them instead. Explain episode 44 through 7 speed. This is low-key on some hacker type of vibes, bro. You don't see too many people like doing illegal stuff, kind of getting out of it or joining a side of the police, besides hackers. So the police recruiting a street racer is kind of crazy. So let's just see what 337's talking about, bro. Eli, what if someone got you a boat as a birthday gift? I'm selling that bitch. I'm just gonna drive it straight into the ocean and I'm gonna say it was stolen. I'm not gonna even sell it back to the dealer, bro. And I'm gonna get my insurance, my money from the insurance like that, you know? Yeah, nah, fuck that car, bro.
Was a prized
W overlay, bro.
With its number plate covered up.
A lot of those like old CRT overlays you can get online for like $5, but if you can find like little cracked files for like, you know, they're cheap. Ocean dump, let's go. Yeah, exactly, bro. We throwing that bitch straight into the ocean. Yeah.
There was a nameplate that law enforcement didn't want to hear over the radio during the 90s crime spree in the UK. And it was simply Cosworth. This name implied a car that was engineered to win touring car championships in rally stages. It was unsuspecting to the untrained eye, and essentially the perfect getaway car that you couldn't catch if you tried.
Yo, that thing actually looks
slick. At one point, they became so prominent that a decision was made to fight fire with fire, and agencies would snag their own fleet of Cosworths to match the firepower of criminals.
Ooh, they lucky dripped out. Like, look what I'm saying, bro. This shit is hard. Do they come like this factory? This shit looks slammed, bro, because this is like on some small ass wheels. This shit looks clean. Look at the lip too. Is that all factory? It's clean, bro.
This is the finale of the holy trinity of getaway cars. We covered the uncatchable Lotus Carlton that British Parliament wanted to ban its existence entirely. And we covered the World Rally Experimental from Subaru that led police forces on one of the most dangerous
probably on some
pursuits
16s.
ever
I was about to say 15s.
The Cosworth RS Sierra and Escort by sheer numbers was the tool of choice by thieves to escape into the night, never to be found again. Well, at least not in one piece. Welcome to Explained.
The Cosby story. Cosworth still make engines, right? Like they're still big in the engine game, especially for drags, no?
While a war waged on between cops and robbers in the 90s, a war is raging online right now, and it's free to play with large-scale.
Oh my god, that was a crazy promo transition, bro. Crazy.
It's 1983, and Ford of Europe was in desperate need of a motorsports revival. Ford wanted to explore a new arena outside of F1, the recently introduced Group A specification for modified touring car racing, which required 5,000 road-going versions to be produced to be homologated, and allowed turbocharging with a 1.4 times multiplier on displacement, which determined minimum weight. Ford would look to the humble Sierra, a car that was affordable, had thrifty, underpowered engine options that wouldn't get you in trouble for speeding, and styling that looked like it came out of a jelly mold, the perfect car for touring car racing. Longtime partner Cosworth Engineering were requested to develop a turbocharged engine to power the Sierra for racing and street use. It was based on the iron T88 cylinder block, but that was the only carryover. A new 16-valve dual overhead cam alloy cylinder head gave it high RPM capability. The crankshaft and connecting rods were now forged steel, and the compression was lowered to 8:1 to complement the Garrett Air Research TO3B turbocharger's 0.7 bar of boost. At just 2 liters of displacement, or 1,993 cc's, it produced 204 horsepower in road-going trim, a little over 100 horsepower per liter, which was very respectable for the time.
Yeah,
to reliably transmit the torque to the
bro, damn near a full bar of boost, nigga, from a factory car. Not bad,
rear wheels, the YBB turbo engine was connected to the same Tremec T5 transmission found in the Mustang GT 5.0, since no other Sierra transmission would survive reliability testing. This new Sierra would get aerodynamic aids to make it stable at 150 miles per hour, and would add the letters RS and Cosworth to its name, the first production car to wear the Cosworth badge. The RS 500 variant of the Cosworth Sierra was meant to make it more competitive in motorsports. The YBD turbo engine block had thicker cylinder walls for less deflection under higher cylinder pressures, a larger TO4 turbocharger, a second fuel rail, and 4 more injectors that were disconnected for street use but used in the race cars. It had improved charge air cooling and oiling, which gave it 20 more horsepower in road-going trim, which was fair, but this wasn't its main goal. The goal was to get those upgrades homologated for touring car racing. With a late start in the 1987 World Touring Car Championship, the Texaco livery Eggenberger
It's funny how
Motorsports
companies still do
RS500
that. Like just leave disconnected parts of your car that are in the sports trim model, but decide not to take it out on the base model, but leave it in there anyway. Q50 still do that shit, bro. Like with the paddle shifters or whatever. Eli, is it true that there's a Scat Pack and Cybertruck? What? Cops in Florida? I honestly can't tell you. I wouldn't be surprised though. They damn near Florida cops have everything, bro. They have a leader bike. They have a S1000R or whatever they call it from the Beamer shit. Yeah, they have leader bikes as patrol units. They have everything you can imagine, bro. I wouldn't be surprised, bro. No. FHP be on some bullshit, bro. Low key about Chevy Bolts that come through my mind.
The RS500 would go toe-to-toe with Mercedes-AMG and BMW Motorsport in the DTM Championship.
Damn, yeah, no,
ultimately
they do, bro.
grabbing 5 victories in the series and winning the team title with Wolf Racing. It won the 1989 Spa 24-hour endurance race, which Ford hadn't seen a win for nearly a decade. Bro. And in 1990, it won the British Touring Car Championship. I don't even say that with enthusiasm. They just be on bullshit. It dominated the Australian Touring Car Championship as well in 1988 and 1989. Well, that was until the Nissan Skyline GTR, nicknamed Godzilla, began its reign of supremacy.
Hey, Godzilla.
DTM moving away from the Group A specification by banning turbo engines at the beginning of the 1990 season.
I think if I ever had a car, on some off-topic shit, if I ever had to get a car on the channel that's like supercar-esque, but not really supercar, I think I would cop a GTR, bro. I think that would want to be like my first real like goal for the channel, or like big goal that I'll work towards. That'll take like a couple years at least. Shit, depends how fast shit goes, but like 2-3 years, bro. Definitely get a GTR. A lot of the older ones like are cheaped out too. Like you can get a GTR for 60-70 bands, you know. I'd rather get that shit over
the downfall of the RS500 in motorsports.
R32
but by that time,
R34,
Ford and Cosworth's collaboration was already set in stone as one of the greatest touring cars of all time. Capitalizing on the success of the Cosworth collaboration, Ford introduced the Sierra Sapphire Cosworth, a proper saloon with the same turbo twin-cam engine, and it was surprisingly lighter than the liftback Sierra, even with 2 more doors, and later introduced a 4x4 variant with a revised cylinder head, increased intercooler capacity, new engine management, and 20 more horsepower at 224 brake horsepower to power all 4 wheels.
R32 has my heart. Why do you guys like the R32 more than the R34? You think because the R34 chassis is overhyped?
The hands of enthusiasts
like it's a TikTok
who
car
wanted
now?
an everyday Cosworth, and slowly a new trend began to rear its ugly head.
One of the getaway cars was a prized Sierra Cosworth with its number plate covered up. Sierra.
Yo, dealers were not on the type of timing that they are now. You see how easy it is to bring the car out? Now, when you see someone steal a car, like they damn near scrape a mirror because the doors are so tight, or they break the whole door. Look how thick this shit.
Cosworth.
Yeah, that boy had space and then some to get through that door.
With its number plate covered up.
Same with the 33. Low-key, IDKY nowadays, I want to get a Benz W124.
Car coming up.
I fuck with the 34, just overhyped the shit. Real talk.
Badly. Looked like it could have been a joyride.
Then you have one and shifts are clean.
It's a fast road anyway, but you don't normally get people driving that quickly along it.
The Cosworth was last seen speeding the wrong way down Churchill Road towards Lower Parkston.
Across England, hot hatches were the ideal joyriding car, as they were based on relatively cheap platforms with minimal security measures in place, typically devoid of immobilizers, but had tuned engines, manual transmissions, excellent handling on the narrow British streets, and blended into traffic very well, exactly what a
Nigga
Cosworth
acting like
Sierra
Dooley in that
offered.
Ford.
On April 28, 1992, the Sierra Cosworth would make front page news when it led police on a pursuit from Marlborough to Bristol at speeds of up to 140 miles per hour on the M4 motorway.
Yo, 337 speed. If you're watching this video, bro, do you edit the videos yourself or do you pay an editor? Because, bro, this is ridiculous, dog. Like, I seen like this.
Bristol.
What is this? You have you have your position keyframe to go up, then you have the opacity going down. The same thing with the left. You have the opacity going at the same time. Then you have another layer with its text coming in with opacity, all while this thing is
speeds
being
of
tracked
up to
on
140 miles per
map
hour
right here.
on the M4 motorway.
What do you do after this? Opacity, then you have this as a PNG, and then you zoom it out. This is also keyframed on the scale. Like,
The drama began at 3:30
and then you have this coming
a.m.
in, going up on positioning, and you have the opacity going down. Then you have it doing the same thing, and then going out up. And you have current, like, bro, there's so much editing to this shit, bro. 337. If you do all this shit by yourself, bro, it's so respectable. And if you pay someone, that's respectable too.
The 911 Targa and a Cosworth Sierra smash into a Curry's and take 10,000 pounds worth of video and music equipment as police arrive 5 minutes later. They then head north up the A345, then west towards Bristol on the M4 at over 140 miles per hour while systematically turning off their lights to confuse officers in the chase. The Cosworth would continue down the M4, even throwing some of the stolen merchandise out of the window at pursuing police, sparking off the ground. Eventually, the chase was called off for safety concerns, and the Porsche was found abandoned in the Sefton Park area of Bristol, while the Sierra Cosworth was found abandoned in Hambrook 6 hours after the initial chase. Insurance premiums for hot hatches would essentially double overnight, and some insurance companies wouldn't even cover a Cosworth Sierra under any circumstances. It was known as the most nickable car in the Northeast. And then police agencies had enough.
Working undercover, driving powerful unmarked cars, the team policed the 400 square miles of the city. They know every back street, escape route and hiding place used by the car thieves.
Northumbria police would build a fleet of 20 Sierra Cosworths to combat the increasing rate of auto crimes in the area. The Escort RS Cosworth was their premier.
This shit low-key looks so good, bro. Put some BBSs on this, make this shit all white. Change this out for like a more modern design. Like, this is front bumper piece. The headlights are cool. Change the hood. Like, bro, this shit is clean, bro. This shit clean.
Pursuit vehicle. It was engineered not as a replacement to the Sierra, but to take the Sierra's four-wheel drive system and engine and shoehorned into a shorter compact chassis to compete in the World Rally Championship against the dominant Lancia Delta Integrale and Japanese competition with the Lancer Evolution and Subaru WRX.
Telling you, bro, that thing looks so good.
The YBT Cosworth engine was capable of much more power than the Sierra with its hybrid T34 Garrett turbocharger, which combined a T04 compressor wheel with a T03 turbine and realistically was too large and laggy for road cars, but Ford's Rallyworks team needed a large enough unit to be homologated to make the Escort Cosworth a true contender. The permanent four-wheel drive system with a 34% front and 66% rear torque split gave it excellent traction off the line with enough rear torque to get it sideways in corners. The only exterior carryover from the Sierra Cosworth were the doors and the roof. The rest was purposefully crafted to produce downforce at both the front and rear, with the adjustable front splitter and large rear wing. It was fiercely competitive in national and European rally events since it was introduced, but on the city streets in the hands of Northumbria police, it was the answer to the ram raiding and joyriding craze.
Bro, that shit sounds good, dog. I just want to see.
Once the Escort RS
Cosworth, I just want to see how much this car cost. 150 bands? I guess it's a collectible now, bro. Like, look at this shit, bro. This shit looks clean, dog. Oh, especially in the black. This is low-key some shit I'll have in my garage on some like classy shit, you know?
Cosworth was put into service duty, auto crimes dropped by 15%, all while other departments saw an increase year over year. There were concerns from the public on Northumbria spending 30,000 British pounds, which is near 79,000 pounds in today's money, on an outlandish rally car.
Some yellow
but the
headlights
drop
would
in
do
auto
it.
crimes never turned into any real backlash. Fighting fire with fire was the answer that laws and bureaucracy couldn't
Even though,
fix.
shit, you can put a
While
livery on
insurance
it that would
rates
look fire
basically
too,
made
like
the
a
Sierra
racing,
and Escort
racing livery on
Cosworth
it.
incomprehensibly expensive to own, owning a Cosworth in Northumbria was a little safer, with police Cosworths ready to pounce on thieves at a moment's notice.
The 17-year-old driver has since been given 100 hours community service, fined £245, and disqualified from driving for 12 months.
By
Yeah,
the
no,
end
that
of
was a terrible
1996,
crash, bro.
the Escort RS Cosworth was no more. Ford was gearing up to introduce a new platform called the Focus, a more modern and more cost-effective
Boy, that is the biggest downgrade of body style I've ever seen. You go from the RS Cosworth shit to this?
transverse front-wheel drive layout that wasn't just an amalgamation of two very good cars like the Escort RS. Ford would subsequently acquire its longtime partner Cosworth Racing and even explore the idea of returning the Cosworth badge on production cars. This turbocharged 2-liter Zetec-powered concept car would lay the groundwork for what would eventually become the Focus ST170, which we know as the SVT Focus in the States, and the turbocharged Focus RS.
Yeah, like that body style don't look too bad. But that first iteration of it, boots. When Ford fell off.
While the Focus would become the rally champion Ford always wanted, winning 44 world rallies and 2 manufacturers' world titles in 2006 and 2007, it wasn't the 4-wheel drive, big wing, Ram Raider chasing theft magnet with a Cosworth badge the Brits fell in love with.
I think Ford didn't fall off at that time too fast. I mean, what, did the GT come out at that time or was coming out? So they still had a
In
little
the
revamp.
end, the Kazi was a cultural icon, a car more known for its criminal antics and news stories than its racing pedigree and track prowess.
So that's why insurance rate, yeah, man, that's why insurance rates really spiked up.
The police car had broken free of the traffic just too late to catch them.
While not as fast and outright powerful as the 40R8 Lotus Carlton, or as
What is up with these old ass cars looking clean? Like, I've
Well,
never
not
heard
as
of this
fast.
shit. This shit is clean too. What the fuck?
and outright powerful as the 40RA Lotus Carlton, or as successful in sales as the Subaru WRX used in ram raids and pursuits, the Kazi defined an entire era of British motorsport history and were always in the newspapers for something, sometimes for winning championships and other times for winning the fight against ram raiders. But it was always something.
Damn, is that the video? 337, bro. Like always, masterpiece of a video, bro. The amount of editing that went into that was crazy. And the amount of information, like, your stuff is always informational, but this is actually something I never knew anything about. And I literally just heard for the first time. So I was just happy to learn, bro. W video, and yeah, I might cop a RS Cosworth, you know what I'm saying? I might cop that little shit. I don't have 50 bands to drop on a car from 1992, but shit, hopefully we'll cop it in my dreams.